everyone, this week I thought I'd do an updated bullet journal for you. So I haven't done a bullet journal since my last one in September, which was a fitness one. Now this one is a lot on fitness, but also on like creating a life that you really want to live and just kind of like organizing it so that you can make that happen. So I'm gonna kind of like talk through how I came up with like the formula, I guess you'd call it, for the bullet plan, and then I will flick through it and show you it. So I'll just like put on the screen somewhere if you don't want to listen to all my waffle, where you can just actually start seeing me flick through it, because I think this is going to probably quite a long waffling bullet journal video, so I do apologise. And if you want to watch my last bullet journal one, which is more like just based on fitness, where this is like fitness and creating the life you want, I'll link that in the description box for you as well. If you watched my last video, you'll know that like I took all of March off and I wasn't feeling really great, so one of the things I did was I was like, okay, if I want to feel good, I need to know what that kind of like life looks like for me. So that's how the like bullet journal came about. So rather than just kind of like start like writing in the bullet journal and just kind of like winging it, I spent literally, no joke, about 2 weeks kind of like really visualizing, thinking what I wanted and planning it. So the first thing I did was I got on my laptop and I looked at like all different areas in my life, from like career to family to friendships to like fun to kind of health, wellness, all these things. So I put them into like categories, and then I kind of decided what an ideal situation of a life would look like for me. So how I wanted like my finances to look, how I wanted like my health to be, my family life, and really spent a lot of time like thinking about it. So I just put them all like in an email literally to myself, all the different categories, and I'd like put bullet points of how that would look so that I knew what I was trying to work towards within this. So that was the first thing I did. Then I got on Google and really start to think about the images that I wanted and how they would look, and basically I created like a vision board that's just behind me. It's basically like a vision board on like my screen on my computer, because to be honest I don't have a working printer at the moment, but I wanted something that I'm going to see all the time, and I'm always like on my computer, on my desktop. So I just kind of made this as my screensaver, so I knew what I was working towards and what I was like kind of what the life I kind of wanted to create, so that I could kind of plan that in my bullet journal. So kind of might be like a long-winded way of doing it, but I did a bullet journal back in September and I realised I didn't kind of think it all through as well as I should have. Like sometimes we think certain goals like are good for us, but actually, you know me, if you've watched my videos a lot, I'm really all about like how you want to feel, and sometimes like some certain goals are not going to make you feel as like good as they should. So the reason I did a vision board is so that I could really visualize, is this kind of what I want for me, and then I'd kind of put like the feelings behind it. So like for me, I had like happy, healthy, bliss, joy, and what that would look like. So I really could like kind of imagine the life I wanted and what steps that would be. So that's when I started like actually getting onto the bullet planner, and I just spent quite a long time planning. And I don't know if you can see, but there's kind of basically a lot of like scribble here, and basically like planning how I thought I wanted it all to look. And this is basically just, this is all a draft. If you can see, there's like squiggly lines and everything through. So I started like really sort of planning how I wanted to look before I went through it properly, and sometimes I realised that that wasn't quite right and like crossed it out. So as you can see, I spent quite like a lot of time in the planning process, and then I got a real like kind of good idea of what I wanted and what was working and what wasn't, and then I started making the actual one. So the first thing I did was I'd have my long-term goals, and so long-term goals can, I guess it depends from different person to person. This could be like, you could class long-term goals as like 5 years, 10 years, even 20 years. Or for you, long-term goals could be like 2 years down the line. I guess the two, but for long-term goals, what I basically mean is like the dream. Like nothing's kind of like too sort of lavish or too big. Like if in an ideal world, if you could make anything happen, what would be the dream? As like big as possible. Like don't play small. What is the like ultimate dream? And kind of being a bit unapologetic, because nobody necessarily has to see this, but like what's the dream for you? And then I had like 5 kind of bullet points for that. So then I had like 2017 goals. So even though like I started this in March, it just kind of made sense to work till the end of the year, but you could put like goals for the next 6 months, we just basically whatever feels right. And I think I had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8 goals for that. And then I go into weekly goals, and like, you know how I said about that planning process where I had like different categories, and I decided how I wanted to look. I basically took the 3 that I was like really sticking out, that I really felt like, you know, I wasn't really kind of like excelling in any of those areas, and I really felt like a push and just really didn't feel like good about those areas. They're the areas I decided, like either the areas that didn't feel good or the areas that felt most important to me. They're the areas that I decided that to put on my weekly goals. So for me, I had career, finances and happy, and then basically I just set myself 3 little sort of mini goals for each one, and these aren't anything kind of overwhelming. They should be really realistic, but something where I do have to actually take some sort of inspired action to make them happen. So for career, I put to do a blog post for Flex, which has now gone up, work on video, increase stats by 20, and then I had 3 for both other categories. And then I go on to this like bubble thing, which I put CDF, which is basically core desired feelings, so how I want to feel on a week-to-week basis, just to remind myself to do like intentionally do things to help me to feel how I want to feel. I go over on that in a lot of my videos, but that's something that's really important to me, so I do that. And then I go on to weekly bonuses. Now these are things that in an ideal world that I kind of want to make part of my routine, but there are things that if I try and force to happen, try and force to do every single day, and I feel like I've just got too much to do and I feel overwhelmed and I just feel like crap, and that, you know, I'm not achieving and that I suck at all this, blah blah blah. So what I decided was to call them weekly bonuses, so that if I managed to do any of them, then it was a bonus and I felt really good. But it is just a bonus, so if you don't do it, it doesn't matter. So I've got everything on here, from like tidying to cleaning, because I really like it when my home feels tidy and clean. It's something that's important to me, but I didn't want to have to feel like, oh, my house has to be immaculate, it has to be really clean for me to be really happy. I just wanted that to be a bonus. And there's loads of stuff on here, like I've got things like meditation and prayer. I'm not a religious person, but I'm really into like spiritual stuff, and when I'm doing all that I feel really good. But at the same time, when I try and force myself to like meditate daily, it becomes a chore rather than a blessing that makes me feel really good, and actually I find that the meditation isn't as good. So things like that I decided to just put as a weekly bonus. And then what I do, I almost just do it is like a little tally chart, and just literally put a line, and then yeah, so just like a tally graph. And then at the end of the week, I had done 47 bonuses, and every week I'll just try and like improve upon that and just see what stuff that I'm actually doing, what stuff I'm not, and I can work on that. But yeah, I didn't want any pressure, so it literally for me is just like a bonus if I do those things. And then I put what's my intention for the week, and then for me it was to feel happy and healthy, and I just want this to be something really positive and just something to really mindful of. Am I working towards being happy and healthy? It's something really basic for me, just to be happy and healthy. Yours could be something completely different, but because, as I spoke about March, I had to take some time off, I wasn't feeling very good. That's like the most important thing for me at the moment, just to feel happy, just to feel healthy, like above all, everything. Such a simple goal, but I just want to make sure that I'm kind of checking up on that and I'm doing that. So that's that. And then obviously you need to know that you're making progress. So I have a progress thing, and then this is where it comes into more the fitnessy thing. So again, I dated it and I put my weight on there, because every week I want to make sure I'm checking that. Now I know some people disagree with this and think weight's not the most important way to access like health and how well you're doing in your goals, and actually I absolutely agree with that. But then there are also like a lot of proof and evidence for people who have some idea what their weight is. They're more likely to achieve their goals because you can no longer be in denial. So for me, I just decided that I would put it on there. I might not check my weight every week, but I am going to check something. So I've done weight, and like I put photo/video. So, and then I put measurements, so hips, waist, legs, arms, bums, etc. So, you know, if I do all of them, then that's great, but I have to at least do one. So whether that's like a progress picture, or whether it's I weigh myself, or whether I do my measurements, they all have to go in there. And again, I don't want to get like too het up on the numbers of social media, but again, because I'm obviously working to build this as a career, I do need to have some idea of if my social stats are going out. So I've just put the social media networks that I'm on, which is Instagram, Facebook, Twitter and YouTube. I've put those on there for me, and every week again I'll just write what they are. And then one of the things I'm really working on is finances. Even though like we go on holiday and we do stuff and we live much better than we used to, we just don't worry about money in the way that we used to, it's still something that I always have to think of and that I'm quite conscious of, and I still kind of worry about it and get a bit anxious, and sometimes can feel like we haven't got like you know, sometimes I still have to really sort of budget and think about it. And don't get us wrong, I think it's obviously always wise to budget, but I just wanted to make sure that every week my intention is like to kind of really think about money in a positive way and think about how much I'm saving and how well I'm doing. So I've got saved on this every week, you know, if I've managed to save some money, and just kind of be mindful of that. And then I put alignment. To me, alignment basically means how happy and, you know, good I feel. So 10's like really kind of aligned and great, and obviously 0 would be just like, you know, you're just completely not coping. So basically alignment would be at the end of the week. I would do like overall how aligned have I felt in the week. Like you can have a bad day, but if overall days have been good, you've been feeling good, then overall your alignment would be good. You know, because you've got to expect that sometimes. Well, and then I've just got a section of notes. So if anything I need to remember or put down, I've just left a page for that. You might want to leave more pages, entirely up to you. And then this is where I go into the day-to-day things. So I've got date, and then I'm personally logging my breakfast, lunch, dinner and snacks, because I'm going to do a video on this. Food is something I've always struggled with to be healthy. I've always had like an unhealthy relationship with food and diet, and always like restricting myself and feeling like guilty, and just like I was just a yo-yo kind of like on and off with my fitness and my health journey. So for some people to kind of track what they're eating probably wouldn't be good for them, because then they might get too judgmental on themselves. But for me, for now, it's really good to track what I'm eating, because sometimes I can beat myself up and think I've eaten really badly all week, and actually if I write it down I actually realise I've done better than I thought, and I'm actually making like progress. But then sometimes I can also be in denial and be like, oh, I haven't ate that badly, and then I look back at it and kind of like add it all up and actually I've really really unhealthy. So for the moment that's working for me, so I'm kind of like tracking it all. So I'm doing that, and then I have like these little boxes. This is something I fill in every day, because again I want to be flexible, I want it to change, and that's why I just wrote in bullet points so that I can do it every day. And this is almost just like something that I tick to see if I'm done it. So I put run, because I don't run all the time, but it's something that I would kind of like to do. And again I haven't put run on, and then I put like legs and bums, all different exercises that I kind of want to do regularly. And I think this whole week I didn't have any of these filled in, but then I've also been doing this like flex fitness thing, which if you're interested, I've done a blog post about that, and that's like an online fitness thing, so I have been doing that most days. And then I've put plenty of water, tick, happy, so this is on a scale of like 0 to 10, how I'm feeling. Social media, because every day I want to be doing a little bit of something on social media. I don't want to like kind of be attached to my social media, because I don't think that's very healthy. Or even if it's just putting like an Instagram picture, I want to be doing something, and then like walking, and then spend. So that's literally it. So it's basically my day thing is just a tracking of my food, and then little boxes of things to kind of tick, of things that I want to try and get into the habit of doing daily, and then a spending thing, so that it kind of covers kind of like health, happiness, career and money, because they're my main goals. And I've done this for every day, for like a whole week I did that. And then by the end of the week, as I say, I went back through and I checked on it and see what was working, and I completely changed some of my weekly goals. Some I kept in, and then I ended up crossing out some of my long-term goals, and I've just been really flexible. And for the weekly bonuses, I ended up changing some of those, taking some out, adding some in, and yeah, that's basically it. So I do it from a week by week basis. It's really flexible. There's been like a heck of a lot of planning gone into it, but that planning's really helped because this is really working for me, and what's not working for me I can change on a week by week basis because it's really simple. So I'm sorry that's like gone on for ages, and I know I've waffled like loads, so if you made it this far, then oh my gosh, thank you, because I can talk for England. And yeah, so I hope you've enjoyed it. Give it a thumbs up if you have, and I'd love to have you a subscriber. And also there's a little bell at the bottom, so if you click that you'll be notified of my videos. And I hope you have a good week, and I'll see you soon. Bye!